Hello and welcome to another Round 5 commentary with your boy Sparky. I'm here today with Victor. Say hello, Victor.
Hello, Victor.
This week we have Ian on Living End and Jackson once again on his Mardu energy deck, taking a mulligan. Where do you sit with the matchups today, Victor?
Um,
Ugh.
there's he to me and sticking his face in.
Yeah. Ian the Five Head just showing up, playing Living
That is
End.
actually a
Gotta love
massive
it.
forehead. I should
Yeah.
actually reach out to him and see if I can put some apartment complexes. And rent
Yeah,
them
we
out.
should use that as advertising space for the OCHO. Speaking of which, if you're not signed up, head over to topdeck.gg to sign up for the OCHO, a modern event 1K that we're running on November 23rd. Coming up.
All right, so to get back to your original question,
Sorry, Ian's forehead sidetracked us, so that's it's
yeah,
okay.
I mean that was some
Yeah.
forehead, shiny too.
Jesus Christ.
With that being said, actually, I like Living In. It's a cool deck. It's something different. It's not the energy machine, which unfortunately, as you know, I decided to succumb to and fully have now. I now have personal evidence that the deck is busted.
Yeah, you did that with Nadu too. We both
did that with Nadu. Sometimes if the tools are going to be there, so you just got to do it. I think with the Jackson being on the black cards of Thoughtseize and Bowmaster, I like his chances more than just Boros, which game one, they can have some ways to interact, but not a ton. You're really just looking for Goblin Bombardment. Jackson with Chthonian Nightmare, Bombardments, and everything else going on. I think he has a lot of tools to be able to fight this game one, and then 2 and 3.
He also had his lap, it looked like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think he dropped it, but it looked like he picked it up.
No, Mike Long would have been proud.
Yeah, that's classic Mike Long method.
So, with that being said, I think Mardu Energy is still favored here. You know what? The energy decks are the champions, and just like the UFC, you got to prove that you can beat the champions. So until then,
yeah.
Oh wow! Very
turn two, 2 for 1. How's your deck? How's your deck feeling? The only thing I guess I disagree with is Ian just let his opponent play his second land, and then easily there Jackson could have passed, and then if Ian fetches and cycles, he just gets kind of got by the bowman, right? I would have liked to see. I'm not sure if he's played against the Mardu energy before this, but I would have liked to see him cycle maybe on his turn, get the full value, and not get the extra pings and whatnot.
So I think I've talked to Ian about this when Bowmaster and Scam was much more of a deck. The list now, because they have the addition of Surveillance, you don't necessarily need to, because it's almost like a free Surveil anyway. So sometimes you're not necessarily punished for that interaction as much anymore, because you can kind of just say, okay, you're clearly leaving up Bowmaster. I'm going to Surveil and just try to get the creature in the yard anyway.
That's fair. But I mean, at some point, you're going to have to cycle the guys, right?
Yes. I mean, you do it when the shields are down. You do it when, you don't think that there's going to be that chance of coming through. Now, unfortunately for Ian, obviously great friend of the channel and the team, doesn't get to play as often as he would probably like. So maybe there's a little bit of deck knowledge missing here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I would go as far as to say Ian is a classic reader of very many cards.
Yes, it does. Most of the time, he is seeing a lot of cards for the first time.
Yes. But we got Jackson taking the aggressive lines, putting cards into his graveyard. He knows the deck he's playing against. He knows their strategy. They're going to put dudes from their graveyard into play, and you got to try and beat them. So,
yeah, I mean, he's clearly the beatdown. Yeah. You can't just sit there and do nothing. That's just playing right into Living End. So,
100%.
So, Ian learning about the fun interactions of Ocelot Pride.
Yeah, and how it works.
We got to print out times tables. That's what we should actually do. Ian being benevolent as always. That is that's some cat token.
Yeah, definitely some cat token.
Ian, no fear, just going right into it. Doesn't care about that ball, man.
Didn't care. Didn't care if you had Bowman. Didn't matter.
Actually, you know what? Though, if you think about it, I don't mind if Jackson flashed in the Bowman
because then he overextends into the turn 3 living end. That's fine.
And then Jackson only gets back a Guide of Souls and a Ocelot Pride, and then Ian gets to.
Well, no. Here's the interesting point: is Jackson could play the Ocelot or the Bowman, shoot his own Ocelot Pride, shoot his Raptor, and make a graveyard.
Yeah, that would be something. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I mean, unfortunately, if
hey man, sometimes you miss stuff, like a Johnny doing damage.
Oh yeah, thank you for the call out on that one. So, nice try, guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Takes another 4 down to 12. I'm not sure. I don't know if Jackson wants to play a spell here. I don't think you want to like lean into this.
Yeah, the spell's in his hand. No, there's no reason to play anything. The Static Prison's a dead card.
Yeah.
You don't want to put more prides in, especially like you said, he doesn't have anything way to get rid of it. I think you're just gonna have to sit here, unfortunately, which not where you want to be as the Mardu energy. But Jackson decides to just say, you know what, you need to have it. I don't like the call, but you know what? There's a reason that I was playing for first in this tournament, and Jackson was playing for whatever.
That's true. Not trying to put Jackson down. I think he's one of the good players that we got on the squad.
I was first, and that's all that matters, and nothing else about the rest of this tournament will have any effect.
Editor, if you could just mute everything he's saying about first place, that'd be good. So
Ricky Bobby said it best, but no, in all jest, do I not agree with the call? No, but you know what? To be fair, I've never played the Mardu variation, so maybe there's some line that I'm missing here. Which
I think he's just trying to get. I think he's trying to get to the City's Blessing, is what it looks like. Like he has 8 permanents in play right now. He's trying to get to 10 as quickly as possible. 1, 2, 3. Wait, did he not make 2 cats? Because he played a second Ocelot Pride? Did I miss that?
The triggers on the stack? I think they're in end step, so.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the triggers on the stack.
Yeah, because he goes to 10 here. Right?
Or 8. Yeah, yep. So he'll get quite a few. Again, here we go again.
Yeah. Another one. Yeah, that's why I was confused. Yeah. Well, he gets the City's Blessing with the second one, and then, yeah. I thought he had a living end. There it is. Ardently off the top.
Which, basically.
Yeah.
One kind of unfortunate thing here for Jackson is that because Ian has that endurance, this board goes away. And that means that now Ian is free to rebuild again if needed and do it again with no worry. Which, unfortunate, but that is just how that's going to sometimes roll up.
Very true. I'm interested to see. Okay, so we have the 5-head makes another appearance. So yeah, Ian, next time don't take 30 seconds, just play the spell. So I like this play, obviously. Like it resets everything and then puts Waker, Subtlety, 2 Curators, and Endurance into play. Then we should have stopped.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I think he has to announce it. In a competitive REL situation, it would be weird, but I think it's not the end of the world in this moment, but yes.
I think when you flip it and you decide to put it on the stack, you have to announce your priority at that point. But
yes, you do have to announce it. So for everyone at home, if you are going to do something in response, you do have to announce that you're holding priority. It's a pretty big board. That's pretty much Mardu's biggest nightmare.
Yeah, I mean,
full grip from Ian with Subtlety and Endurance rolled
not for nothing. So like, let's say Jackson plays like 2 Ocelot Prides, or even just like a creature. Like 2 Ocelot Prides would be perfect, right? Because then he'd like make 1 cat that makes 2, 3 cats that make 6, and then 7 cats for 14. He'd just have 14. Yeah, I mean, it would have to be exact seeds because he's already blessed. But
Yeah, it's so tough though because you're
mm,
what he already played 2. You have one coming. Or no, I'm sorry. No, he played 2. Had one come back to play, so that's 3 all. That's 3 known at that point, right? I'm not crazy.
yeah, I guess that's correct. I was thinking
So
of
yeah,
like some kind of like weird, like I'm not sure if he had some weird Chthonian loop where he could have like done some finagling, I guess. But with 3 lands in his hand, it looks a little bad.
yeah, not where you want to be.
Looking at Jackson's sideboard, he's got 2 Dampening Sphere, 2 Nile Spellbomb, 3 Charmaw, Obsidian, of course, 4 Sun Cleanser, he's ready for the mirror, 2 Surgical Extraction, and 2 Wear Tear. The cards I like coming in are the Surgicals, the Spellbombs, and possibly the Spheres to stop the double spell, like force you to have to like go to turn 4 before you can play both of them, right? Like, because if you're gonna play the 3-drop, it's gonna cost you 1 more to play the 0-drop.
Is it 1 or 2? Because wouldn't that be the second spell that you've cast? Because
So Dampening Sphere says each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell they cast this turn.
okay,
So if I pay
so
3
you turn
mana for
4.
my Cascader, I have to pay 1 mana for the Living End.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all because you have between subtlety, you still have force and negation, you have endurance. There's the possibility of force of vigor being a card. There's a lot of free spells in Living In, so I don't think Dampening Sphere is a bad card at all if you have room to cut. I mean, the engine's pretty solid. That's the hard thing. That's the thing
Well,
I felt.
if he plays a free spell, right? Like if he plays a Force of Vigor, he doesn't have to pay anything. But if he plays something and then a Force of Vigor, he'd have to pay the extra mana with the damping sphere. Those are just like the cards I see coming in. I don't know why you would bring in anything else. It looks like he's cutting Chthonian Nightmare and some Static Prisons for 2 Nile Spellbombs and 2 Surgical Extractions.
Makes perfect sense to me. I mean, I did notice that. I mean, I played Boros, this week, and one of the things that did seem to be the theme is that when you're bringing in cards that theoretically fully remove something else, you take out your softer removal, you take out your static prisons, you take out your galvanic discharges, things like that in certain matchups, because the idea is that these cards that you're bringing in, while they're much more specific, are more absolute in their removal sense.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So, looking at what I assume is Ian's deck list, because Fivehead didn't give us anything, it looks something like what Sodek played towards the end. Sodek MTG is a infamous Living End player on Twitter or X. And I'm looking at like possibility of 1 Brazen Borrower, 2 Commandeers, 1 Dismember, 2 Foundation Breaker, 3 Inevitable Betrayal, the 4th Living End, 3 Mystical Dispute, 2 Teferi. Based off of what's there, I could see him bringing in the Dismember, the 2 Foundation Breakers, and the Brazen Borrower, maybe to deal with like what he think is problems. I'm not sure if he knows that like Mardu doesn't run Blood Moon. But like those are
100% sure.
I also could see him bringing in the extra Living End, maybe, because he knows he's going to have to use like maybe 1 as a Wrath spell and then 1 as like a win condition.
Yeah, I don't think that's his exact sideboard, if I remember it correctly. I think he's playing something slightly different because I think he only has 2 Inevitable Betrayals, but I could be wrong. So a little hard to tell what his sideboarding options would be. I assume that there's Foundation Breakers. That's just a bring right in because it's never bad against any variation of energy. So I don't mind that. I'm gonna take a mulligan here.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Not a fun feeling when your opponent starts. When you know your opponent's on energy and they keep a full grip. It's not really what you want to hear.
Nope, not at all. So Ian's list, based off of his own Moxfield from the 13th, is the exact sideboard I just told you about.
Oh, it is? Okay. Maybe I missed a card or, A lot of muscle, not a lot of brain, so who knows? Maybe he didn't update it.
Yeah, it's here. There's 2 of them. This one is he had the one listed for the date on his Mox Field. Um, so yeah, he has a Sky Turtle main, which is kind of interesting. 3 living end, 1 living end side. So yeah, looking at his
Okay, he
sideboard
does have.
is the Brazen Borrower, 2 Commandeers, 2 Force of Vigors, 3 Foundation Breakers, 3 Inevitable Betrayal, 1 living end, 3 Mystical Disputes. He's not running the Teferi at all. And then like his main deck is 1 Sky Turtle, 4 Curator, 4 Endurance, 4 Ent, 4 Agent, 4 Wraith, 3 River Winder, 4 Subtlety, 4 Waker of Waves, 3 Living End, 4 Force Negation, 2 Singular Stupor, and 4 Ardent Play with 15 lands, one of which being a Protege. It looks like he's also having mulligan troubles where he's not seeing many lands. This is what happens. You play a 15 land deck, and sometimes you just don't see them. I don't know what the
Yeah,
likelihood on seeing like two or 1 or greater is in some of these matchups. Like I know you have the Ent to get you there, but you only have Ent. I remember they used to run like 3 Ent and 3 Oliphant back when we could play Violent Outburst. So there were more reasons to like have more cards that could cycle 4 lands.
yeah. It's a rough one. I think the percentages are a lot lower. I mean, actually, it looks like there is a Teferi. So maybe that sideboard was not correct, and he did change. Yeah, that's definitely a Teferi. So who knows what's going on?
Yeah, I guess this is what he
Shout out.
submitted for. Yeah, shout out to not submitting deck lists to help us out. We appreciate that. Um okay. So
Well, he's keeping 4, so this better be a.
yeah, I'm interested to see what the 4 cards are. He does take the Teferi, and I think he ships an Ardent Plea and another card, probably a Force of Negation. Force of Negation is a card I would have taken out in this matchup, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the sideboard plans are.
They're,
I don't know how
they're
many
an
other.
aggressive creature deck.
Yeah, but
Otawara is the start for Ian.
the problem is that the cards that do matter for energy that are non-creature are pretty relevant. You think about it, he could be thinking, well, I don't want him to have the One Ring. The Chthonian Nightmare can be a problem. Goblin Bombardment is also a problematic card for him. And
Sure.
I believe talking to Ian before the final round, he knew that.
The main
So,
issue, the main issue with that line, and I know that this is like confirmation bias, but like there's 2 Nightmares, 1 Bombardment in Jackson's deck. The main card I think he would be really worried about is the Thoughtseize, but I don't know if you want a 2-for-1 yourself just uh to protect your Cascader.
looks like Jackson was going to maybe flash in a Bowmaster, then forgot that that's an Ent. So that wouldn't have gotten full value.
Yeah. But again, this is we talked about this in our Discord this week. Your opponent is playing an aggressive deck, has 2 mana, and didn't play anything. What's a likely card that they're going to have in their hand?
Oh, absolutely. But, if you think about it, sure, he can't play around it on his own turn, but
Mhm.
you know that your opponent's probably going to play the Bowmaster on your end step. So you can at least wait till your end step if you really wanted to,
Yeah.
just to get 1 less damage. You're not going to be doing too much on turns, 1 and 2 are your setup turns anyway. So,
No, and I
not
mean
on
like
both
he's
boards.
cycling the end, so like there's nothing really. He's land
Yeah.
cycling the end. Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's just me personally, but I probably off of the Ent would have gotten a Temple Garden, or I'm not sure if he's running Lush Portico,
Yeah, I'm not.
because it gets him the other 2 colors. Because he drew an Ardent Plea, and I don't see a white source.
Let's see. No, it does not look like it.
He has a Curator, and he might have. I think he's got a Titanith Rex. He also has a Shardless. But with the Temple Garden or Lush Portico, like it gives you all of the colors you need.
Here comes everyone's favorite. And hopefully he no, he just decides to take it. Okay.
Of course, we have an Orc Army. There we go. Meat's back on the menu, boys. Interesting.
What
Looking
are the
at
checklists? Just
Jackson's,
the Johnnies?
the checklist
Yeah,
is a Johnny, and I think he's got a couple lands and like a galvanic discharge, which are other again cards I thought are weird for him to have in this matchup, but we'll see what happens.
yeah. I mean, personally, if I was playing as Living End, I'm definitely taking out the discharges. They do a lot of nothing. Okay, luckily he fixed his tapping too, because
Calvin, it's okay if Jackson does it, right? But I can't do it.
I'm
So
not
this is
picking
this
what
is
you're putting up,
no,
Chief. But
there was a it's a joke for Calvin when he's editing. Um, so this is a line that I think is pretty interesting. If this is why we're leaving the galvanic discharges in, I guess I can understand it. Like you're keeping your planeswalker around. And then, do you know what that ability does?
what, his +2? You
No, it's -4.
-4. It's that. There's been card. It's Cataclysm, isn't it? Not, it was
It's
Cataclysm. Yeah,
basically it's
well,
basically Cataclysm, yeah. So they choose
yeah,
an
yeah,
artifact, creature, an enchantment, and planeswalker, and then sacrifice the rest.
yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and on turn 3, he has a planeswalker that just deals with Ian's deck.
Yeah, I mean that is pretty good. So
If that's why we're leaving in the galvanic discharge, then I can understand it.
I mean, I guess
Plus,
it's not too terrible. The more you think about it, it can help you get energy. If you need to get higher up on the energy count, it just generates a 3 energy
sure,
for your
that
own
works.
guy, or put your own guy in the graveyard. Maybe it's not as bad as I think at face value. A lot of times, you think about it, you're like, well, that's just removal, but
Yeah,
it can
that's true.
remove your own stuff.
I guess we had the generous end. I missed it in his hand because his foils are
Blinding. Ian's
yes.
gonna take another read.
We got a reader.
Hey, better read the card before you do, or make the mistake.
There's a living end curator, ardent plea, and a shardless agent in Ian's hand. Yeah, I think I would lead with the enchantment because if he keeps a dude around, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but if you leave the shard, then you could choose the shardless as your artifact and then another creature.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's an artifact. I just don't like the body, I guess.
Yeah, but what's better, to have a body or no body? Because the ardent play is going to be no body. Sure, it buffs your one creature that's going to get the swing, but sometimes you need to go wide against those strategies.
Yeah. Okay. So we got 2 foods. Is what he's representing now. And then the shardless comes in. Okay. I think that's a Guide of Souls in Jackson's hand. It looks like a guide. Looks like Guide of Souls and Amped Raptor, the dynamic duo of current modern.
Yeah, it felt pretty good curving out with those two wrapped up in the hand.
What do you think the best hit here is?
How much energy will he have after this resolves? 5. The one
Yeah.
ring would be pretty good. Just
He doesn't play the One Ring.
He doesn't. Chthonian Nightmare to loop around wouldn't be bad.
That's true.
It's the Ocelot Pride.
Ooh. Good golly gosh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ian's going to learn how to do math this turn. I see a very interesting line with this Johnny right now. And it's not -4. I like the 0.
Go 4?
Yeah, you could take out the flyer.
Oh, okay.
With 4 creatures, 4 lands, and a planeswalker, he has 9 permanents in play.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna get quite a bit. Just for everyone at home, the Ajani did not deal damage because Jackson had 4 creatures. It's because he controlled a permanent, another red permanent that was not the Ajani.
Correct.
So just for anyone who maybe hasn't had the misfortune of dealing with that yet, which hats to you if you haven't, but that is why the creature deals damage.
Yeah, it's the red permanent, but it does equal to the number of creatures you control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jackson went from having just an Ajani and 3 lands in play to a board state.
Pretty good one.
Ooh, we got a Teferi. We got a Teferi and a Curator. And I mean, like, he also could just, like, cast the art in play, but I don't think that gets him anywhere.
Yeah, it's tough because if something else in the hand was a land, he could have cycled the other Curator.
Yeah.
Just
I like cycling the Curator anyway.
The only problem is if you cycle the Curator and don't hit a land, you can't cast anything else, which can be rough. But if Ian swings out and gets maybe the at least the agent back into the bin, maybe force that Ajani to go down to under 4, he could then slam the Ardent Plea, have back the Curator and the Shardless Agent, and have a decent board against just a
I even
Bowmaster.
I even think something along the lines of like just playing the Teferi is probably right. Like play the Teferi, bounce something, draw a card.
The problem is like that board is too big to just play a Teferi and draw a card.
Sure.
Jackson taking the smart block.
Yeah.
A lot of people there will sometimes get a little avarice and try to.
My brain went right to my Amped Raptor, but then, like, I took a second and was like, oh, then he can just Living End again and get 2 dudes. Yeah. But you also get back, I believe. It looks like it's a. Oh no! It's just Bowman. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I feel very tempted to. I mean, Jackson has 1 card in hand. He's gonna get to Surveil because he's gonna fetch and probably go get a Surveil land. I assume he has 1 more.
Yeah.
So, you just got to take that the odds are just in your favor there. So Ian's gonna take the riskier play of just cycling.
Oh no! Oh no!
What? No. What is that card? These foils.
That's Titanith Rex. That's the Godzilla one.
Is that
it gives a trample counter.
Yep, them's the.
I would have waited on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jackson has 6 creatures as is. Like, one of those guys was already a target.
Certainly some sequencing errors. I don't also like that Ian did not play the Sink into Super as a land.
That's not a Sink into Stupor. That's a Flare Denial.
Is it?
Yeah, he has Ardent Plea, Flare of Denial, Teferi, and I believe a Living End.
Oh, never mind then. I stand corrected.
If it's a creature, I'm willing to put it in the yard here. Especially if it's like a Johnny.
You absolutely do. You don't need another creature on board. You just need the stuff in the graveyard just in case the blowback is. Because right now, I mean, it's a sizable board, so if for any reason that the Ajani isn't able to ult, it's going to be a little awkward.
Yeah.
For anyone that comments to get my eyes checked, I'd like you all to know that I am, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, Victor's like legally blind as is.
And legally blonde.
Ooh.
Anyway.
So, We're debating on a surveil here from Jackson before he takes his turn. Oh yeah, I don't think I want that.
See what he drew.
Ooh. That's a bingo.
Was it the bombardment?
No, it's a flage.
Oh, he did hit the flash. Very good. Maybe Jackson can zero in response at instant speed and get the extra damage in.
Imagine.
No, I would not play modern if that card said that.
Yeah. I think we're just okay with that. It kills the agent, which I mean, ooh.
It seems that Ian cares about it. I mean, you could just sack the tapped Charlotte's agent anyway, because who cares at this point?
What are you're saving yourself? You're saving yourself him killing it and him getting 3 life, I guess. Ooh, them boys got reach.
They do have reach, so
Yeah,
I'm sure they don't mind blocking.
I think as long as Jackson just doesn't attack here, I think he's fine.
So he'll take. It's going to be impressive, right? So it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, he's dead.
He's definitely dead. That flage mattered.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with this dude tapped already and like putting another guy in the yard. Oh no, he went to 4 again.
Hey, that's the living in life sometimes.
The cost of doing business. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh Jesus.
I mean, his hand's not bad. It's 2 lands.
Jackson's got 2 guides. If he's got an Amped Raptor, this game is going to be over. 17 play guide go.
Well, not necessarily. So that can be a little bit of a trap, though, because remember, Ian's in the play. So if he hits, that's a Waker, it looks like.
There's a Waker, Flare, and Ardent Plea in hand.
Yeah, so I mean, you might not be as inclined to just dump everything out. I think Jackson knows that, though. I think he'll probably wait, because your chances of hitting a non-creature, non-land card with an Amp Raptor, if he had one, would be less. So I wouldn't be as quick to want to go ahead and do that. Like, sure, you're ahead on cards and you're ahead on value, but you don't necessarily just want to give away free percentage points for no reason.
Of note, Jackson has a Galvanic Discharge, a Flage, a couple lands, and a Surgical Extraction in his hand.
All right.
It looks like Hub, Mountain, Discharge, Surgical, Flage. He kept it on top. It's got to be a land. Yep. And then you can just pitch Waker and then untap and call it a day. Yeah, I think we're surveilling, trying to put some dudes in the bin.
Yeah, you're either surveilling or you're either putting a guy away, maybe looking for a goblin bombardment for protection.
Yeah, Goblin Bombardment would be perfect. Living in a response, dome you, pick my guys up. Although you got to be careful because if your opponent just has like the gotcha endurance, ooh, that's gonna hurt.
Yep.
But
I think with such a low card total, I think
yeah,
you
I was gonna
can.
say, if your opponent kept 7, that's a different story. But I think with Ian on 4 cards again, it's a little unfortunate. Obviously, we like to see a little bit more competitive games. Not to say that this isn't, but
It's certainly an uphill
oh
battle.
Jesus, Jackson drew another surgical extraction.
Oof.
Shoot your own Guide of Souls.
No, I don't even think you need to at that point. I think you can just leave the beaters out in case he doesn't have it. The Flage will always be a recurring helix, no matter how many times Ian goes head and living ends. So, that can certainly help your endeavors.
Well, so here's my thought process, right? The Flage comes in, you go up to 3 counters. Oh, okay. Never mind. See, the only reason I would have liked that the other way around is because you could have had like another guide coming in with energy. Force negations are still on the deck. There's the living end. I like it on the Waker. I think that's about right.
Yeah, because what was the other creature? I think it's just
Colossal
the
Sky Turtle. Yeah.
Yeah, the Waker actually has more relevant text. Not letting your one power creatures deal any damage can be relevant.
Yeah, and I mean like the Sky Turtle's just a 6/5, so like it's oh, and there was a oh, no, there wasn't a Waker. I thought there was a Waker in his hand.
No, that's the second
Oh,
Waker
there
in his hand.
yeah,
Yep.
I think there's only 3 in the deck. Or no, they play 4. Unless he boarded one out.
Might have cut one just to shave.
That's fair.
I think Jackson might be thinking about using the second surgical here, but that just doesn't seem like the best idea. I think you can deal with a 6/5.
No, I think you deal with the 6. I think you let the cards come in, and then I think you hit the living end, and then wash your hands of it.
Yeah, I think if you get rid of the Sky Turtle, you're going to be at no board anyway either way. So at least this leaves you with the ability to, you know, get more guys back potentially. You're ahead on life anyway.
Yeah. But right now it's a 4-turn clock. I
Should
didn't
be an
see that
interesting match.
line. Gonna be honest. I'll be blatantly honest. I did not see that line. Oof.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do you sag it here? No, you have the Teferi. I mean, you go to 5, then you go to 2.
Oh no.
Well, it's gonna be a long night.
Yeah, we should have shuffled that.
So now we play the awkward game of
Casting these cards in my deck.
that shouldn't be painful at all.
I mean, we'll see what happens. Those probably should be in the exile zone, but that's okay.
I think they realize that. Oh, and a Nihil Spellbomb in Jackson's hand too. Oof.
Yeah, they belong over here, bud. I don't know what Ian just drew. I think it may have been a 4-drop. Oh, it's another Arden play?
Very helpful in that scenario. So not a huge fan.
I would have drawn a card there.
Yeah, like I don't think you can afford to sit around and just make things happen at sorcery speed. Yeah, then this happens anyway.
Yeah, now we can't cash in. Like, he would have cashed in the orc on it, right? But
Oof, another Ardent play off the top. That's 3 Ardent please.
Yeah. Ian's doing the math to see if going to 3 cards was the right thing to do.
I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt for the free shuffle. Feeling like he's not going to draw anything. It's pretty bad here, though. There's not a lot that's going to.
I don't think for 3 mana there's much he's going to get out of this. Granted, his clock isn't that big because they're not. I'm gonna be honest. I definitely would have just went at him. Oh, is it an Amp Raptor? Is that why he attacked the Teferi? Okay. Yeah, I would have just went at the Teferi. I would have just went at him. Let him plus. That's a subtlety.
Too little, too late for that one.
Jackson has 5 damage rolled up. It could be 6 if he's got a removal spell. I don't mind just cracking this Nile Spellbomb and Ian's end step. I think that's probably right.
Yeah, there's not too much that you're afraid of.
Yeah. It's sad to see, especially when somebody mulls to 4. You want something a little bit more like back and forthy, but definitely pretty interesting.
It was nice to see. I mean, the game 1 kind of showed, a little bit of a more back and forth-ish kind of idea of how it would play out, but Magic's is a game of variance.
Yeah, that's just how it is sometimes. But we want to thank you all for being here, showing up, supporting, liking, subscribing, and following us. Be sure to check us out on all our socials, and don't forget to check out the OCHO coming to you November 23rd. I'm Sparky, saying goodbye. Say goodbye, Victor.
Goodbye, Victor.